Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know it's Saturday, and I got a banger for you today, all right? So check this out. What I want to talk about today is how to thrive in a struggling and a bad economy, right? Now, I don't like to waste your time, so we're just going to get right into it. But what I want to say first is shout out to the 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys, and I got a couple things that I'm going to do for you guys, right? So be sure to stay tuned over the next coming weeks, right? One thing is we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a small account challenge, and so I may start with maybe like $300, and I'm gonna do a 52-week challenge. Okay, 52 weeks, and I'm gonna give you guys a update video on that trading account every single Saturday, right? So we may start next Saturday or the Saturday after that, but we about to take this channel to the next level, man. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe the channel, this video, and we're gonna get into it. All right, so with that being said, man, a struggling economy. So stocks are at all-time highs, but can't nobody get a job, right? I'm seeing people complaining about the workforce, right? I'm seeing articles complaining about the workforce, but they saying that the economy is great. So let me break this down for you in the most simplistic terms possible, right? First things first, robots are taking over. This is not something that we haven't heard before. They was making movies back in the day, right? iRobot. They've been making movies, putting this predictive programming into our brains, right? Into our brains so that we could accept it before it actually happens. So I need you to understand that this ain't something that we didn't know was happening, right? They saying the stock market is doing the best, but people can't get jobs. Why is that? Because the companies are making more money from outsourcing work to robots and stuff like that into software, right? So let me show you guys this right here. Okay? So check this out. So here's an article on Fortune, right? I saw, and this article is on a couple other different, platforms. But Gen Z men with college degrees now have the same unemployment rate as non-grads, a sign that the higher education payoff is dead, right? And this ain't no shade to nobody that has a degree or went to college or none of that stuff. We looking at the facts, and we looking at what's going on in the actual economy right now today, right? So Gen Z is increasingly slamming their degrees as useless, right? New research indicates there may be some truth to it, but when it comes to the job hunt, right? Unemployment rate of males aged 22 to 27 is roughly the same, right? Whether or not they hold a degree. Y'all see what I'm saying? So this is what I want to break down. All right. Now, it is unfortunate that people can't get jobs. That is unfortunate. But let me break this down for you, right? Really help you understand this from a metaphysical perspective, right? And a spiritual perspective, right? So you're going to see more news about this stuff, right? I don't care who you are going to see more news about this stuff. So first things first, you got to check your frequency, okay? You got to check your frequency. Hear what I'm saying. You got to check the things that you're consuming and what you're paying attention to. If you are seeing multiple different sources, news sources, platforms, blogs, saying things about people not being able to get jobs, you are going to accept that inside of you, and now that's going to be your reality. I need you to hear what I'm saying because this is extremely important. Right? Success is an inside job. Real talk. I know that there's facts that exist in society, but you cannot allow yourself to be subject to the facts. Whether you got a degree or whether you don't, you have to be in control of your economy. Your economy, right? So I want you to understand that Your economy is inside of here. Degree or no degree, you have the power and you have the ability to make as much money as you possibly can, but it all starts with your frequency. Okay? Your frequency. All these news articles and stuff like that come out, a lot of it happens to fearmonger people or to drive a narrative home and get people to groupthink and think on the same type of level. But I want you to understand this. You different, and you should not allow yourself to be subjected to the information that's out there. I want you to start figuring out, how can I create my own economy inside of me? How can I create my own reality inside of me? And where that comes from is right here and right here. Okay? You got to learn how to create your own motion. And your own motion is your own energy, your own frequency, your own focus. What are you focusing on? If you're focusing on trying to get a job, and there's no shade, it's nothing wrong with that. Go run it up in whatever job you have. But if you are trying to get a job and all you keep seeing is these down and sad articles, you're going to start accepting that. You got to always check your frequency and be like, no. Because based on my economy and based on where I'm going and based on where I'm at, I know what I'm about to do. I know what I'm about to become. I know what I'm about to accomplish. This is how you thrive in a struggling economy, because the economy is external. But what about your internal economy? What about your own internal self-talk? What about your own internal state of being? What about it? You are in control of what's inside of you, and you have to check your frequency and you have to raise your frequency. You have to understand that this society that we're living in is actually very low vibrational, and all of those low vibrational things and low vibrational people and entities, they are out here. They do exist. And if you don't know how to check your frequency, if you don't know how to control your frequency and tell yourself what's going to happen, you are going to be a victim to the low vibrations. And you are going to be subjected to the low vibrations that exist in this world. Because if people can't get jobs, why are people getting jobs? Why are people getting hires? Because all they're talking about is a generalization. Right? So you got to understand, when people talk about averages, they're talking about the high and they're talking about the low. Right? So if they're talking about the high and the low, you just got to tell yourself, I'm one of the people up here. As simple as that. As simple as that. But you got to understand that you have an economy inside of you. So what you got to do is you got to start moving. You got to get into movement. You got to start moving in a direction of where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. So if you want to accomplish X, Y, Z, it's time to start moving in that direction. That is how you create your own economy. That is how you start to understand that, oh, I can do anything. This is deeper than just, make some money. No, I'm trying to help you understand how to create and print money, right, at will forever. It does not happen from other people. It does not happen externally, right? Another way that you thrive in this economy that they're saying is the best, but it's clearly not, right, is you need to learn how to trade. If you've been watching my channel and these videos, and you have for a month, 2 months, 3 months, it's time to get in the game. It is time to get in the game. Because let me tell you what's happening. Inflation is rising, right? Inflation is continuously rising. If inflation is rising and your income is not rising, you are going to be a victim to inflation. Right? Think about it. You got to get into the game. Stop being scared. Stop being scary. Stop procrastinating. I can't say this stuff enough. Stop procrastinating. Get in the game, because all that's going to happen is they're going to continue to make the world harder, right, for people that don't have any resources, that don't have any opportunities for real. It's just going to keep getting harder and harder and harder. The only way life becomes easier, right, is when you start to wise up, Learn your skill sets and start playing in a different game. Start playing your game. Don't play their game. Play your game. Because everybody talks about the economy, but the economy is not the only economy. Because I operate out of my economy. I create my economy. You see what I'm saying? I create my economy. And how do I create my economy? Is by creating opportunities for myself. How do I create opportunities for myself? I put myself out there. I put myself out there in the world. That is how you create opportunities for yourself. This is how you create opportunities for yourself. And when you create opportunities for yourself, you create your own economy. And when you create your own economy, nothing can threaten that. And always remember, what's real cannot be threatened, and what's threatened can't be real. So your economy could never have been threatened. The only thing that's threatening it is you not taking the action and procrastinating on the thing. You got to learn how to move in the direction of where you want to go. You got to learn how to move in the direction of where you want to go if you want to thrive in this economy. They got AI that's taking people's jobs, right? You go to the gas station, the grocery store, right? Instead of having 7 checkout lines, they got 1, and then they got 6 different self-checkouts, and then they have 1 person managing it. So instead of 7 people, right, working to check people out, now it's only 2. That's 5 jobs gone. And that's just the grocery store. We ain't talking about actual careers with salaries that's getting wiped out. I need you to understand what's going on. You have to learn how to create your own economy. And that starts with this right here. And it starts with the frequency of what you're operating on. How can you attract opportunities to yourself? You got to put yourself out there. You got to put the business out there. You got to put the skill set out there. Learn how to sell. That's another thing. Learn how to sell. Get into sales. If you are not making the money that you want and you want to be in the workforce, go get into sales. It doesn't matter what kind of sales. Learn how to sell. Do you realize that me learning how to sell set me up for my life? It sets you up. Learn a skill set. Learn how to become an electrician. Learn how to become a plumber if you like working with your hands. But you have to do something that a robot can't replicate, duplicate, right? Or substitute. And one thing I'll tell you is, can't no robot, right, get in the way of me. Because it's about my energy. I'm using my mouth and my oral skills, right, to create my own opportunities. That's how this game goes. That's how this game goes. You learn how money works. You learn how to make money. You learn how to put your money to work. And you keep rinsing and repeating that 3-step process. And then you start to continue to build your money and grow your money. And when you start to do that, you ain't worried about the economy because you're living in your own economy, which is also your own frequency. So all you're doing is benefiting off of your frequency being a byproduct of your new reality. Right? So understand that this is how you thrive in a struggling economy. You stop paying attention to the bullshit economy that exists and you create your own economy. That is how you win in this game. Point blank, period. Stop worrying about other people. Stop worrying about what the economy is saying, right? You got to boss up. You got to boss up yourself. You got to boss up your energy, right? You got to increase and expand the standards that you're setting for yourself. And you got to get in motion and go down the path and go in the direction of what you want to experience in the future. And you got to stop being scared, and you got to stop procrastinating, and you got to stop being in the corner hiding. The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. All right? So check this out. I really hope that helped you guys, and I hope that made sense. Right? I hope it made sense. I am here to not only motivate and inspire you, I'm here to change your life. Point blank, period. I'm not with the games. I'm not with the feel good stuff. I am here to change your life. Whoever you are that's watching it, I'm here to change your life. I need you to understand that. I'm going to give it to you straight. Sometimes it's going to be blunt. Sometimes it's going to feel brutal. But at the end of the day, I am here to give you the truth. I'm not here for the views. Because you know what? I understand that the truth is going to get there over time. It's not about right now. Okay? So listen. Hope that helped. Hope that makes sense, man. Like I always say, make sure you get up out of your head. Go get into this world because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? I'm going to see you guys on tomorrow's video. You know we're going live tomorrow, so make sure you show up. We're going to be ready for the market. We're going to smack the market like it owes us something, and we're going to make it happen, all right? I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm going to catch you on tomorrow's video. Peace.